Just moments ago, the Secretary of Defense said that the impact of the shutdown will still be felt by the Department of Defense and by Veterans Affairs. Senator Jack Reed is a member of the Armed Services Committee and joins me now, and of course is a veteran himself. Senator, thank you very much for being with us. What is the impact on defense? So some people might say, okay, we went through this for 16 days, it's over, the monuments have reopened. Where is the real cost in terms of our military?
Well, the real cost is many of the critical civilians were not able to work. You had to have meetings delayed. You had contracts that had to be deferred in terms of negotiation or their oversight. So there's a host of the costs associated with the shutdown that are just beginning to be felt and will be felt over the next several weeks, if not months.
And what about Veterans Affairs? We focused a lot on people who were at risk of not getting their checks, that Veterans Affairs Department was running out of cash by next week. So will that go smoothly? Is there a delay in getting things back up to speed as people come back to work?
I know Secretary Shinseki is trying his utmost to start moving the process quickly so that our veterans do get their benefits, that the medical system continues to operate as it does so well, and it's going to be an all-out effort. But, you know, the last 16 days were not at all necessary. I mean, we end it where we began, which is essentially a temporary continuing resolution so that we can negotiate a complete budget package. We also reaffirmed the fact we wouldn't default on our debt. We could have done that 16 days ago, but unfortunately the process didn't work out well. It didn't work out well for the American people, but I hope we learned something from that, which is to, as the President suggests today, cooperate, work hard in principled, constructive debate, and then move the country forward.
And Secretary Hagel had a news conference a bit ago just talking about how serious the impact was for the Pentagon. Let's watch.
It's important to note that Congress did not remove the shadow of uncertainty that has been cast over this department and our government much of this year. Like much of the rest of the government, DoD is now operating on a short-term continuing resolution, which limits our ability to start new programs. And the damaging cuts of sequestration remain the law of the land.
Do you think now, as part of the budget process, that there is a chance of avoiding not only changing the current sequester, but avoiding the next tranche, which is supposed to hit on January 15th?
Well, I hope we can do that because, as the Secretary's comments suggest, they've been able to manage through some of the sequestration cuts this year, but it gets more and more difficult, in fact incredibly difficult. And where they have to go is to readiness accounts, training, maintenance accounts. They also have to go to investment accounts, platforms, new technology, and that's going to be very, very difficult. And the size of these cuts and the fact that they've exhausted all of their built-up reserves at this juncture is going to make it very difficult. So I think we have to provide flexibility, as much flexibility as we can with respect to the sequestration. In fact, we should consider in some negotiations suspending it or eliminating it entirely, but it is not an effective tool to manage a department like the Department of Defense. In fact, it is counterproductive.
What is the outlook for the budget talks for actually producing something serious about entitlements, considering taxes, all of the really tough subjects being on the table?
Well, the good news is that we're now actually sitting down. As you know, we passed the budget in the Senate in March, and we've been trying to get to this conference, and we've been frustrated by a small group of senators who are objecting. Now those objections have been mooted, and we're now moving to the conference. It's going to be very difficult negotiations on all these issues because of the nature of the programs, the importance of the programs, not just defense, but social programs, earned benefit programs like Social Security and Medicare. All of those things are difficult, but at least now we're in a position with Senator Murray and Congressman Ryan to begin to focus, and with the President's participation, hopefully to resolve some of these issues. I think the one thing we have to look at is not just the long term, but the immediate term, and the key, in my view, is getting people back to work. Of getting the economy to grow. If we do not grow the economy, then our deficit, almost by definition, gets worse. And we also frustrate millions of people, literally, who are looking for work, who want to work and can't find it. So we should put a priority on growth rather than the longer term. I think we have to immediately start growing the economy.
Thank you so much, Senator Jack Reed.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Andrea.
joining us.